Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I'm playing the Tier 9 German destroyer Z-46. This is a mixed tier match. We've got some 9s, some 8s, and some 7s. The lineup is heavy with DDs. On the enemy team we've got a Benham, Paolo Emilio, Akazuki, and a Leningrad. Leningrad, of course, really fast, decent guns, and fairly hard-hitting 8-kilometer range torpedoes. Akazuki, of course, has the infamous Japanese hard-hitting, knock you right out of the game if you get hit by one in a DD torpedoes, and rapid-firing 100mm guns. Paolo Emilio, well, that's a relatively new destroyer to the game. I guess the interesting thing about that ship is it has the ability to run with smoke and stay hidden. So what I have seen, and you probably have too in game, is that the Paolo Emilio will smoke up, run right toward you, get close, torpedo to death, and then run off. So it's a definite threat. And Benham, of course, has 16 hard-hitting torpedoes, 8 per side. And so you throw torpedoes out on one side, you turn your ship around, as Ram said the other day, and throw the other torpedoes out, and then by the time you get swung around again, the first sets are back and ready to go. Azuma, Helena, Zara round out the enemy cruisers. If you get caught close in a destroyer, any of those can do some damage. So I'll be doing all I can to stay far enough away to avoid getting smacked around. Now the Z-46 does of course have smoke and hydro. And with any luck I'll get a chance to use both in this game. Looks like a decent push on this side into the ICOP from the bad guys. Right now it's just me and Boise out here. It does look like Iowa and Lennon and even Alaska are headed this way, but right now it's just me and the Boise is going to probably be focused on trying to stay alive. Put some torpedoes in that corner there behind the island. Well, what I've seen over and over, and you probably have too, is that that's often a favorite place to hide. So I will just preemptively put some torps out there. You see that I am radio located. You can see the little icon that right now is just above that island. It says located. I imagine that's probably whatever enemy DD is over here, and he's probably just trying to get some idea of where I am, and that will tell him or her. Jean Bar threw the brakes on. And I think that's probably going to save Jean Bar from some damage. It's going to be so close. Yeah, that's painful to watch. You could literally spit over the edge of the ship there and hit that torpedo. That was pretty close. But that's okay. So we're 3.5 minutes in. I haven't done any damage. I'm contesting a cap. I know there's an enemy DD in there. I mean, look at the smoke. I'm very politely asking my friends on my team on this side to push up a little bit. Benham is in the open. And you can see Boise immediately get shells out on him. And all the bad guys get shells out on me. Now, I went widespread there, but I tried to space the torpedoes so that if the Benham was crossing in that direction, you can see that. I mean, you can see what I'm talking about. If he goes that direction, it's going to be difficult for him to avoid getting hit with the torpedo. Not impossible, but difficult. And if they are, if they don't hit a destroyer, well, they might get a chance. You can see there are some enemy torpedoes. They might get a chance to hit something sitting in that smoke. Bad guys have secured the Charlie Cap despite our Friesland, Roma, and Akatsuki's best efforts. Our Ognovoy is about to take the Bravo Cap. We're down on points. We've lost a battleship at this point. We've lost Lenin and Gorizia. The enemy team has only lost Leningrad. And I'm falling back. Why am I falling back? You can see the Paolo Emilio there. He has pushed in close. Used his smoke to fall back. And he probably guessed I would head this way and threw torpedoes out ahead of my reverse here. And presumably, and although I wasn't paying that close of attention at the time, the Paolo Emilio did exactly what I described earlier. Probably smoked up, ran right at our Lenin, and just finished him off at close range. Now, what I want to do here is I want to help take out this Paolo Emilio. I think I'm covered by the island behind me, the ships that are back there at the Alpha Cap. I don't think they can hit me right now. So I go ahead and open up. Paolo Emilio has lost his engines. Our Ognovoy and I are just continuing to put guns on Paolo Emilio, who is kind of weirdly still rushing straight at our Ognovoy. Yeah, there's no way he's going to survive this. I did manage to land a torpedo on one of those ships pushing through A, and help finish off the Paolo Emilio. So, we've taken out 3 of their DDs, and that's going to really cause some problems for their team. Their Venom is still full hit points at this point, but having lost 3 of their DDs, I think the enemy team is at a disadvantage. We have 2 caps secured. They've only got the 1. And they have a points lead because they've taken out 2 battleships, and battleships are worth more points than destroyers. So they've taken out 2 battleships and a cruiser. There's the Venom, and nope, he's only got half his hit points. And I'm going to be able to fix that. He's smoking up, which is just absolutely crazy, because once he goes dark, at this range, my Hydro is going to pick him up. So I just Hydro. He doesn't, there's nothing he can do. He's dead. And that right there is why I so enjoy playing my Z-46. Really, most of the German destroyers, that Hydro is just, it's great. I mean, it picks up enemy torpedoes as they're coming in at a pretty decent range, and you can do what I did just there. If you catch a destroyer player who's just not really thinking, I mean, that guy in the Venom, he might be a great DD player, I don't know, but when he stopped in front of me there and smoked up, he was dead as soon as he came to stop. I'm going to have torpedoes back up here very shortly. And there are 3 ships pushing this way. Looks like Zara's going to cross more directly toward our Ognovoy if you look at the minimap. And I will just be throwing torpedoes in their face. Remains to be seen whether I'll have any success with that, but I'm certainly going to continue to throw them out there. And you can see that's a pretty fast reload, just over a minute. Our Boise, he's doing everything he can, but he's in a challenging spot. Our Iowa has just been running. I'm hoping here that our Iowa is going to be able to get guns on the Zara and finish him off. But no, that looked like the Iowa shells right there. Look at this. Look at these gaps. Perfect gaps. There's a Jean Bar size gap on one side and a North Carolina size gap on the other. Zara takes out our Ognovoy. I think Iowa just kind of it's just probably zoomed in on one of these battleships and hasn't stopped. Which is, you know, I'll highlight that because Nagatos take each other out of the game, and Helena finishes off our Akatsuki. I highlight that because it's so important to keep an eye on what's going on, and you can do that with the minimap. For Iowa, we're paying attention. He would see that Zara is out there by himself with 7,100 hit points, and if he fired at him with some of those big AP shells, he could take him out of the game. Instead, he's just focused on a battleship that's angled against him, and he's going to do very little damage. So Don Kruger, you know, there's a lot to learn about this game, bud, and I encourage anybody who has never looked at angling mechanics or armor mechanics or considered target selection and why to do that. There's all kinds of, I mean, there are some great community contributors in this game who've got all kinds of content on YouTube. And I wish it was in the game. I wish they would just teach you all this in the game somehow, but they don't. Alsace takes out Musashi. Musashi takes out Alsace, and we have another Ram. We're down to 4 ships. Bad guys are down to 5 ships, but in my opinion, we have an advantage because we have 2 destroyers in the game. Now, Friesland may not be long for this world because he's pushing up close to a Helena. But I'm still in the game. I've still got most of my hit points. Looks like Jean Bar's going to come back this way a little bit, so maybe I can get some dual-purpose torpedoes. I'm trying to convince our Iowa he needs to change targets. Iowa, as you can probably see on the mini-map, has just face-planted into an island. I've got my torpedoes out. Now I'm just kind of running ahead of the enemy push. I mean, it's an honest question. I think this game was played in the evening, so. Friesland takes out the Helena. How about that? Our Friesland player gets a +1 from me. Land one on the nose of the North Carolina, so that's an insta-flood. And hit the Jean Bar, but no flooding. So North Carolina has just repaired a flood. So if I can flood him again, hit him again with another torpedo and get a flood, he will flood for a while. Meanwhile, our Iowa just backs out. Not exactly flat broadside. He is angled a little, but he's just backing out ahead of 3 enemy battleships. Yeah, these will be dual-purpose torps here. Both those battleships, North Carolina and Jean Bar, are kind of on the same line. I may be able to catch both of them. It looks like Bismarck is crossing behind, so it just seemed like a good idea to throw those all in more or less the same line. I might tag 2, maybe even 3, I guess, possible, given the directions that they were heading. And you'll see that I'm just staying out of their detection range. Bismarck looks to be accelerating, so I don't know whether I'll hit him or not, but North Carolina's gone now. That's one less to worry about. And it's 3 ships to 3 ships, and we are up by, what, 7 points. There's a hit on Jean Bar and a flood. Our Iowa is just in full escape mode. And our Boise, par for the course. You had nothing to apologize for, brother. You did all you could. Kept your guns hot the whole time. At Bismarck, if he doesn't change direction or speed, is in some serious trouble here. I may not finish him off, but I'm definitely going to do some damage here. There's no way. I don't think even if he threw the brakes on right now, he could stop it. So I have to count on somebody else to finish him off. That was actually a pretty decent shot from our Iowa. And why am I running this direction? Well, I'm trying to stay out ahead of Jean Bar. I don't want to get detected. Bismarck sees the torpedoes, and he's just throwing the nose toward the island, trying to stop. He barely manages to avoid being finished off by my torpedoes, but you can see the damage counter is still ticking, so he's flooding. And he turns just enough to the side that our Iowa was able to finish him off. And now we've got the lead, and I mean, it's 3 ships to 1. This game's all over but the shouting. And it's been very fun. And why did I want to highlight that? Well, I wanted to share this video, one, because I think the Z-46 is a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing it. Now I put Torps out behind Jambar in case he turned around. But his guns are pointed the other way, so I can open up with my own guns. Now he's going to turn back this way, but you'll see my torpedo reload is fast enough that I don't have to worry about him too much. If he turns his guns this way and starts to run straight at me, well, I can smoke up, I can hydro, and it won't be too much longer, and I'll be able to put torpedoes in his face. So, just mopping up at this point. This is what's going on. So, 129,000. Probably going to do a little better than that before this is over. 10 torpedoes on target, 7 floods, 3 fires, 56 shells on target and counting. I think that's good evidence that sometimes in a destroyer you want to use your guns. You don't want to rely 100% on your torpedoes, even in a boat that is nominally a torpedo boat. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this even half as much as I enjoyed playing this game. I will leave you here. Please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to see them below. And I will see you next time.